So thank you, Natalia. For this next section, we're going to be talking about the use cases that we've been working on in PharmaLedger around um, blockchain-enabled trust and transparency in clinical trial management and data flow. And I'll be presenting together with Todd Culver from UCB BioSciences. So let me begin and explain to you, go through a couple of slides to talk about why we're exploring blockchain technology in clinical trials. And then we'll talk about the combined efforts of the three use cases, eConsent, IoT, and personalized medicine. And Todd is going to walk you through a demonstration of what we've developed so far. So Natalia introduced the use cases within PharmaLedger earlier, and there are four use cases that cover the health data and clinical trial space. This includes the personalized medicine, clinical trial recruitment, medical device or IoT, and eConsent. And the goal of these use cases were really to create a blockchain-based end-to-end clinical trial solution to accelerate clinical development. It was recognized really early on that eConsent was an enabling aspect of all of these use cases. And over time, as we developed these use cases, we decided to merge several of these. And so what we've done since the beginning of PharmaLedger is to combine the efforts within eConsent, medical devices or IoT, and personalized medicine. So why are we looking at these use cases in combination? Well, first of all, in clinical trials, let's take a look at what we're experiencing right now. This diagram walks through a very simplistic process flow of what a clinical trial looks like. And as most of us know, it begins really with the informed consent, getting patients to participate in a clinical trial. And once the consent is obtained, the patients are screened for eligibility. And once they're deemed to be eligible, they start undergoing procedures for data collection and subsequent analysis. This data could potentially be used for secondary data sharing. Now, many of our processes right now in clinical trials are still paper-based and involve centralized systems that require manual transfer of data and verification. And we know that this is also prone to delays, errors, because of the complexity. And adherence to the informed consent that a patient provides is of utmost importance in ensuring their rights and safety and their privacy. And any deviations to this consent has huge implications not only for the clinical trial and the integrity of that data, but to the patient themselves. This slide shows some GCP inspection findings from various health organizations, so FDA, EMA, MHRA, and Health Canada. And this is from an annual report summarizing the frequency of GCP inspection findings based on categorization. Over 50% of these GCP inspection findings are related to inadequate processes to ensure the quality of the clinical trials. Over 50% are also related to inaccuracy or incomplete clinical trial records. 5 to 10% of these GCP findings relate to compliance with the clinical trial protocol, and 2 to 7% are related to informed consent related issues. These GCP inspection findings speak to the challenges that we have in clinical trials and the impact it has to the data integrity and the rights of patient safety. Now, the use of devices to capture health data is becoming more and more common in clinical trials and also in our daily lives. These devices come in various forms, and data collected reside in different data sources. The data itself can come in different formats, such as structured or unstructured data formats, and not to mention the data models that this data is collected in. So the heterogeneity of the data of device data present several challenges. Now we have a disconnected ecosystem with different applications. This is prone to security and data breaches, and data from individuals are scattered in data silos, and there's a lack of data standards and formats. This creates time delays in updates to data. Now, there's no doubt that real-time patient health data collected through devices contains a wealth of knowledge that can enhance and inform on how to best manage a person's health condition. But we first need to overcome these current challenges that we face. And by extension, using real-world data together with EMR data is a powerful approach to more integrated healthcare. Real-world evidence and health data can be used to generate predictive models that can support and diagnosis or prognosis and allow for true personalized medicine for individuals. The challenges that we see today is the lack of transparent or direct information from individuals about the use of their data. And there's also difficulties in accessing medical records from various institutions. And this can be complex, costly, and also time consuming. The ability to manage the collection, storage, access, and use of data, whether it's real world or within a clinical trial, from different sources in a transparent and trusted process is needed. And we believe that this can be achieved using blockchain technology. So how do we envision this to work? Let's take as an example a clinical trial. As I said, the most important component of a clinical trial is the informed consent. Without this, we do not have trial subjects and ultimately no data. Blockchain is a digital ledger that records actions and transactions, and everyone in the blockchain network has a copy of the ledger and can see when changes are made and by who. The informed consent is essentially an agreement that can be recorded on the digital ledger or the blockchain. And in a similar way, completion of procedures and collection of an analysis of samples can be recorded on the blockchain. Once on the blockchain, the audit history is inherently created. What is done is visible to everyone on this network, creating one trusted, immutable shared source of information, or trusted ledger. The information on the blockchain can be used to automate processes. For example, notification for reconsent, or immediately halting the analysis of a subject collected from analysis of data collected from a subject who withdrew their consent. And then access to sensitive data can also be controlled based on permission settings on the blockchain. This data ownership allows patients to share or unshare data if desired. And with the increasing digitization of healthcare, we see an opportunity where blockchain technology can be used to address issues we experience in clinical trials and also collection of data through devices or through real-world evidence data collection. Now, because the informed consent is an enabler of many processes in a clinical trial, our work evolved naturally towards combining the eConsent, IoT, and personalized medicine use cases to test an end-to-end process for clinical trial conduct. In the pilot that we've actually launched, we will be using consent from subjects as a directive for collection of data from a medical device. Collection of data from these devices will also be registered and tracked. Through a dynamic permissioning process, a researcher will be able to request access to the data that's collected from an individual subject. The subject will be empowered with the ability to grant permission for subsequent use of the IoT data collected during the trial. Now, we believe that blockchain technology can enable subjects to be a partner in the clinical trial by increasing the visibility of their status in the trial and by giving them the ability to decide what to do with their own data. It can also bring the clinical site efficiency by ensuring the accuracy and accessibility to information and material that they need to conduct the trial appropriately. And for sponsors, it can improve quality and compliance and bring efficiencies to trial conduct. Potentially, this can translate to time and cost savings too. It may also expand access to data for future development opportunities. So with that, I'm going to stop, and these are some spaces where you can find out more information about our project, and hopefully the readout from our pilot that we've launched this week. So there's a website, a newsletter, through webinars, through PharmaLedger, LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter. portals that you can access more information. With that, I'm going to stop and hand it over to Todd to show you what we've developed so far in terms of our combined platform. Todd?